Hi, everybody. This is the Crit Show. Got a lot of things to talk about today, and not once, this will be the first time ever, not once we're going to mention Elon Musk. Not even.
You just mentioned him.
God damn it! All right, so let's get down to business. We don't have anything to talk about when it comes to Ryzen other than what I'm about to talk about right now. That didn't mean anything. So, we may or may not have something that we can't show you that we're playing with right now. And we're going to do the benchmarks that you ain't supposed to do, y'all. We're going to actually try to do some real-world benchmarks and give you guys a good idea as to what this is going to be like dollar per dollar when it comes to gaming, when it comes to productivity, and that sort of thing. And if you look at the benchmarks that have been coming out have been very impressive, but you know, a lot of these things are from AMD. They're not going to release a graph that says, holy shit, AMD didn't do as well as Intel. They're not going to release that graph. What they're going to release is they're going to release graphs that show them doing really well. So, for instance, here, they've got a 7700K versus the Ryzen 1700, and showing in Cinebench it's 46% faster. Well, you know what? Of course it's going to be 46% faster because it's got like 8 cores, 16 threads versus 4 cores, 4 threads. I mean, 4 cores, 8 threads. So, that's not what I want to see. I want to see gaming benchmarks between the two because that's going to be more competitive. And then as far as the productivity goes, then yeah, then we can talk X99 and all that stuff. So that's how we're going to come at this and attack it. We're going to overclock the hell out of these as well and see how they do in that regard. But we're really going to try to do an apples-to-apples comparison in real-world scenarios. If you're doing productivity, you're going to be on X99 and we'll do the productivity tests mostly on there. We'll try them out with the 7700K as well. But if you're going to be doing gaming, we'll really show you which is going to be better for your money. So that's how we're going to look at that. All right, next up, we got some more rumors. Rumors going crazy. The 1080 Ti may or may not be on the way. This is from Tech Drake, you know, one of the most trusted sources. You use Tech Drake all the time, don't you?
Absolutely.
Of course.
100%
Tech Drake?
Years.
Try to catch me when I'm not using Tech Drake.
Every time I look over there, it's become the new Reddit here in the office, Tech Drake. So whoever owns TechDrake.com, you owe me a sandwich. Or a beer. Or a beer sandwich. So anyway, he's saying here on his website, based on Nordic Hardware and IO Tech, that the 1080 Ti will probably be the old GP102 chip. Now, that's what they're using for the Titan, of course. So they're probably going to cut that down, and then going to take away a little bit of the RAM, but give it a little bit more frequency. And that seems to be the sweet spot for gaming, as, you know, if that's what it was with the 980 Ti. Was really the sweet spot. So I'm thinking this might be the sweet spot. A little bit more frequency could be better for your games. Sometimes that's better depending on how much you know, texture memory and that sort of thing that a game needs and how much memory it's going to eat up. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I do not know if I'm going to be going to any secret meetings or anything like that to talk about this. I have no idea. Maybe, maybe not. All right, next up, let's talk about Reddit for just a minute, guys, because that's a huge social platform with a global reach, but mostly here in the USA. It's the 7th biggest website in the country, and it is really easy to manipulate let's call it the global mind of Reddit or the hive mind of Reddit. It's really easy to manipulate just the entire social world of Reddit. So here, Jay McGregor has been doing some really interesting series over here on Forbes, one of the best things I've seen out of Forbes in a while, doing some investigative journalism where he sat down a few weeks ago and found out that you can pay for upvotes, and that really rockets your stuff to the top. And that's one way to get your brand out there, do some marketing. But he found out something a little bit more insidious. He started calling around to some of these companies and found out that they will do complete campaigns. They'll get a bunch of social media active people that are actual real accounts, maybe even get some real moderators involved, throw some money at them, and then help them go into sway conversations, change rumors around, you know, maybe inflate rumors, maybe deflate rumors, and just sort of change the landscape. And they're doing this for fees. So just think, when you're looking at Reddit, is this organic? Is this real? You know, like how is this going? I mean, because there's a lot of hive-minded stuff on Reddit anyway. So when you're on Reddit, just be mindful of these things, and I highly recommend that you watch this 11-minute video. It's quite illuminating. All right, next up, Epic Pants, guys. We got some new shirts coming out. I want to thank you guys for returning to the store. It's really awesome. You know that after all the nonsense and drama, you guys have come back and been checking out the store. The store went down, now it's coming back up. So that means that we're going to be able to start creating some new products, like new shirts, new cups, new mugs, whatever. You know, maybe even some new multi-tool devices and stuff. But I really want to make some new. You know, some of these things right here. This is an early prototype, but I've got a few prototypes, and I really like to make those, but my rule is that the store kind of has to pay for itself. So So thanks a lot, and stay tuned for new stuff in there, as we've got a bunch of backlog designs that we couldn't make for a while, and watch for possible new hardware in the future. Who knows? Talk about politics? How about that? That's everyone's favorite topic when you're watching a nerdy thing on the internet, right? Just be aware that there's some Republicans in the Senate, and they are trying to move the powers of net neutrality from the FCC over to the FTC, something that they'll probably be able to have a lot more control over, and then the Federal Trade Commission can basically say, you know what? We don't need to worry about net neutrality. All traffic does not have to be created equally or considered equal. And then, you know, what that's going to pave the way for is, where's that picture? There's got to be a picture. There's not a picture. That's going to pave the way for companies to be able to say, hey, you're on Comcast, you get Facebook and Instagram for free, and everything else is going to be $5 a month. You want HBO, we'll throw that. It's all that kind of stuff. You're going to start seeing packages like TV. And I know a lot of you guys hate regulation from government, but wait till you see what happens when they turn it loose and let the corporations do whatever they want. Sometimes you have to spank these bastards. Anyway, that's my political rant. You guys can argue if you want, but just wait and see, and then we'll know. So we were pointing a telescope out in the middle of nowhere. They've got a telescope. It's TRAPPIST. That's an acronym for some fancy thing. Anyway, they found a red dwarf. And beside that red dwarf are several planets. Several planets. The red dwarf's much smaller. It's like the size of Jupiter. Let me pull down here to the chart. Now check this out. All these little planets here, and these are all in the Goldilocks zone, meaning not too hot, not too cold, and these things could support water, life, who knows? It's only about 40 light years away. We have a whole slew of planets, like 7 or 8 planets. What is it? Six of them could be good. Who wants to go there? Mars is pretty cool, but we need to be working on an EM drive or warp drive or something, because having that many planets and that close, the whole, like, we need some sci-fi movies about this too, because the cool thing about this is that some of the neighboring planets are so close, and they're very, relatively Earth-sized. They're so close that when you look up in the sky, it would be bigger than our current moon, and you would be able to see clouds, geographical features, mountains, that sort of thing. How cool would that be to live on one of those planets out there? And also, being a red dwarf, it'll last trillions and trillions of years, and way longer than our current sun. Speaking of exploring the universe, check this action out.
So the developers, CCP Games, the guys that make EVE Online, are actually going to be employing their users to discover real planets beyond our solar system. So they are going to be doing what's called an MMOS, which is a massively multiplayer online science. So they're going to be working in conjunction with the University of Reykjavik, the University of Geneva, and Michael Mayer, the first person that was actually able to discover the first exoplanet. So this kind of ties in what we were just talking about. But they're going to be using actual star charts and the likes to build these solar systems in the EVE Online, and then reward players for going and actually exploring these things. And they're going to be collecting all kinds of data, and then that data is going to go back to the groups that are overseeing this, and they're going to be able to confirm like whether or not what they're discovering is a reasonable finding, and they're going to be able to find more details by having massive amounts of people looking at these things instead of just having a small group of scientists look at them. It's neat that they're employing people and giving them rewards just for discovering things. It's pretty neat.
The next step, what they need to do is they need to make a game like Rust or something where they map pieces of the Earth that are really not that, explored through Google Maps, like in places in Africa that are extremely remote, and then we can wander around there and discover dinosaurs that still exist in Africa.
Mariana's Trench, the game.
Yeah, you can explore it, and it's all going to be 100% accurate, yes.
That would be cool, actually. I would play Mariana's Trench, the game. Yes! this is the most ridiculous shit.
Yeah, okay, who wants to watch a Rampage movie?
Kinda?
You do?
Kinda? Well, The Rock's gonna be in it. So The Rock has confirmed that he is going to be working on a movie adaptation of the video game Rampage. For those of you that are, younger than 20, I guess, that have never heard of Rampage. Rampage is a game that you play a giant monster going through a bunch of cities, and you're trying to break buildings to score the most points while eating people and all kinds of other things going on. So,
first time I ever played the game Rampage, what I was thinking the entire time was, damn, this would make an awesome movie.
If only The Rock was here.
No, I actually never thought that.
Really?
No, not even a little. I mean, there's
weird.
a lot of monster movies, but this is just a goofy movie where you climb around and punch buildings and helicopters and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how much content they're going to... I mean, obviously they're going to make tons of content off of it because they're going to turn it into a full movie. But shooting begins April 2017, and I guess The Rock just really likes doing video game themes movies because he's already done Doom.
Well, yeah, but you know, check this out. The Rock is going to be a primatologist, and he's probably going to be studying George. I mean, he's going to be the most swole primatologist everywhere. Like, here, I'm here to look at your monkeys. Like, oh, I get it, because you have to wrestle gorillas all day. I understand right now, you know.
Like, I want him to be like, hey, giant monkey, know your role and shut your mouth. You know, what's he gonna, what? Like, clearly I hit the gym for 6-hour days and then study primates for the other hours.
He needs to press slam George. Then it'll be a good movie. If he press slams George. Moving right along
People's champion.
Speaking of violence, yes.
So a new study has found that real life influences violence more than video game violence.
There's no way. Because I tell you right now, when I played Mortal Kombat, the first thing I did was walk in the other room and grab my friend by his face and pull out his spine.
Yeah.
I did that. I've actually done that to a few people now. Never got away with it.
I remember my first time playing Mortal Kombat, the first thing I did after I played it was I stood across the room from someone and shot a spear out of the palm of my hand and screamed, "Get over here," as I reeled them in towards me.
But it was badass.
It was super badass. I was pretty badass. So anyways, so what they were saying is that, yes, in the loosest of terms, video games equal violence in people, provided that you don't put any other external factors whatsoever combined with them. Once you start adding really trivial things like race, gender, social situation, family abuse, like level of like family interaction and content and things like that. Basically, once you apply any one of those things to it, video games then become irrelevant towards causing violence in a person.
So I'm going to go here and make an assessment. The worst parents on the planet are those who are racist and say terrible things in the house, abuse their kids, and then blame their children's violent behavior on video games. You're the worst pieces of shit out there, and you should probably be a victim of video game violence.
Yeah.
I just said that on the show. Let's move on.
Yeah, so Mass Effect, one of the most successful video game franchises ever, is joining with one of the shittiest board game franchises ever.
But also, wait. You just took two different variables there. They're both massively successful.
Yeah.
And I would argue a little bit on how much fun Mass Effect is, but it is successful.
They're both successful franchises, yes, but
I found Mass Effect to be an interactive movie. But
I personally don't like Cards Against Humanity, but they are releasing a series of Cards Against Humanity white and black cards that are going to be Mass Effect themed in conjunction with the release of their new game. They will have things like space racism on them and like, I think they said like fuckable alien species or something like that.
There'll probably be like some gay jokes too, since this game allowed you to be a homosexual.
Yeah.
And that was like a huge thing for the media, as if there's never been a homosexual in any other piece of artwork ever. Everyone's like, holy shit, so I bet there's going to be some jokes about that in there too, and they'll be super funny, guys, I guarantee it.
No.
Yeah, they will be, yeah.
You guys, there are a million better games you can be playing aside from Cards Against Humanity.
People outside of...
Dear Lord.
People outside of YouTube know that when they hang out with me, Cards Against Humanity is usually a downgrade for me. Like, I'm more offensive in real life, so Cards Against Humanity is like, what are we wasting our time for? I've got some really offensive shit
like
to say.
pigeonholes you into making like not as good jokes.
Yeah, I could totally been saying some awful stuff, but this game is like censoring me.
Oh yeah, I got an inbox question for you. Hang on.
I know what we got here.
Yeah. Here you go. Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye. Yep. Christopher says, Logan, why do you think that Windows and Mac are still the primary desktop OSs over one of the Linux distros? Or Mr. Regards, you've got the answer right in your question. So you say right here, over one of the Linux distros. Segmentation is one of the beautiful things of the Linux community. You can have the exact flavor you want. You can have chocolate and pickle swirl if you want to. Whereas with Windows, you got vanilla and you got chocolate. With Mac or whatever. Is Mac's chocolate, I suppose? What, Mac? I don't know. Max vanilla and
vanilla because everything they do is white.
Yeah. Okay.
Really boring.
They're boring, and then Windows is strawberry for whatever. But the point is here is that there's a lot of segmentation, so that's confusing for the average Joe who just picks up the computer. Most people still do not know what Linux is. If you tell the people at the store that, oh my goodness, your terminal that you're checking me out on right now, that's Linux. They're like, what's that? They don't know. Is that what you call this keyboard a Linux? Is this a Linux here? Is that what that is? They don't know. So there's that problem, and then we also have the chicken and the egg. Are you going to be able to go out and buy a computer with Linux on it, yeah, if you know where to look, but 99.8% of the stores and retailers and that sort of thing, everything from Amazon to, you know, Best Buy or whatever, they're all going to have Windows PCs or Mac-based PCs. And it's going to be hard for people to adopt that if there's not a lot of demand for it. So again, chicken and egg problem. And then the software. You know, stuff like Adobe Creative Suite. I have to use Windows because that is the stuff that gets shit done. There's a lot of things to play around with on Linux. You know, there's a lot of cool programs. But the amount of time that I would spend fussing with all that stuff, you know, I wouldn't be able to make any content. There would be nothing on the channel. Is that what you guys want? It would be like several months of me being like, God, this is ridiculous. And then the workflow is just not there. So some of the software needs to support Linux as well. Lots of chicken and the egg problems, lots of segmentation problems, but those are all not bad problems. They're just things that keep it from being fully mainstream. If we could all just say like, Ubuntu is the thing and all Windows software will work on it, and it's free, then I bet a lot of the different you know, OEM manufacturers and that sort of thing would start making computers that work with it. But until they make it easy for every end user to just sit down, pop it open, and use all their stuff on it without much fussing or worrying, I don't think we're going to see it ubiquitous. Okay, enough of the show. Thanks for grabbing t-shirts. Check out some other stuff. Somebody said something about something. And discourse, social media, website. See you, bye.